All right. Hello, hello. Sunday night. Sunday night, right? I don't know what day it is anymore. I guess it has to be because we're live with John and Sheri tonight. How is everyone doing? I see there's lots of you guys in the chat. See who we got here. We have Sean and Jess. We have Daz and Mike and Terry, both, it looks like. Thanks for coming, both of you guys. I appreciate that. What else we got? We have Annette here. My next door neighbor, Annette, one province over. What else we got in here? We have Lisa, Yogi Hollow Farm. I think that's everybody right now, huh? Lisa's cooking up steak and potatoes. That sounds delicious. Well, how was your week? We have not posted a video in a long time, you'll have noticed. We took kind of the Christmas and New Year's holiday off and just, took some time away from YouTube. We've still been loosely around, but we're going to be getting back into the regular swing of things now that we're in the middle of January, but we just took some time away. The last video that we posted, you guys will recall, was our catastrophe about how the cows ate all the electrical cording and stuff. So while we're waiting for John and Sheri to get backstage here, they have the link. They're going to be coming on shortly, so I'm just going to keep watching for them. But while we're waiting for them, I'll just tell you a little bit about that. So we had a very cold snap about 2 weeks ago now or something like that, where it was frigid cold. And the cows that we have now, Mocha, Tulip, and Daisy, are new to us from this past year. We did not have them last winter. We had Honey and Hildegard, and I guess that's all we had last year because I had already done some sales. Anyhow, we haven't done a winter with these cows. So, oh, there's Henry. You gonna say hi, Henry? Oh, there's Henry. Yeah. Oh, hello. You gonna say hi to all the people? You gonna say hi to all the people? There's Sheri. Sheri, push the link that I gave you guys on Instagram and get backstage. And then I'm gonna let you guys in. Anyway, so I think that they got bored when it was cold, or they were, I don't know what, or they were trying to get into where they thought it was gonna be warm, or I have no idea. And so as you guys saw, they chewed through not only the electric fence, which, whatever, polywire, it's not shocking that great in the cold, and the grounding isn't the best and stuff, so fine, I can see that. But they chewed through the actual cord that plugs in to the outlet. I don't know how they didn't get shocked. It was firing, full electricity. Oh, he's such a cuddler, you guys. And they ate through the power cord that goes to their stock water. And of course, neither of those things are cheap. An energizer for an electric fence and a, de-icer for your stock tank. So, so Daniel was livid. And we were able to fix everything up. Some people also gave us some suggestions of some things that could work well. So we've done that. See, that's Henry. He knocked down the phone. Sorry about that, guys. So admittedly, it's been some time since we posted that video. I think it's been 10 days or almost 2 weeks since we posted Catastrophe Part 1. We're going to be posting Catastrophe Part 2 here later this week so that you can see kind of a conclusion of that. And then we have a couple other videos coming down the pipe for you this week. Henry, you're gonna knock off my phone again. Go away. They love you, but they don't want you to knock our video down. Thank you. So we have a couple things going to be showcased for you. So we're back in the saddle. It's a new year, and we're back, and we're ready to roll. So without further ado, I think probably everybody knows John and Sheri. But for those of you who don't, they are my Canadian counterparts. I'm on the West Coast. They're on the East Coast. And they are just fantastic. You know them, you love them. They're here all the way from Newfoundland, and we're gonna get to
we're trying to get situated.
We're gonna get to know them a little bit better.
Go over this way a bit. We're trying to get situated here.
Hello.
Oh, hold on.
I'm turning it the wrong
there
way.
We go. Hold on. There we go. There we go.
There we go.
Hold on. Got to set her up here. You know, we're off grid,
you're
so
cutting
you know
Sheri
we're not.
off. You know, Sheri, you're just not in this one. There we go. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. Thanks for having us.
Of course. I'm stoked that you're here. What you drinking tonight? You got a tea? What is that?
Tea.
That's a tea.
It's a tea.
Fine.
That's a tea.
Where's yours, Sheri?
Oh, she's over barking. She's over grabbing it now in the makeshift kitchen.
You gotta have your tea. There she comes.
Cheers.
There you go.
Now we're ready for a chat.
How was your day?
No. Good. It was good. Busy.
Busy and hectic as usual.
Busy as always.
Always something, huh? Well, I'm stoked to have you.
You got that right. You got that right.
I know. It's been kind of crazy here too. So I just wanted to, so everybody who is familiar with my channel and those of you who don't, I've started a new, what do you call it? A series, Get to Know Our Friends. You guys are episode 5. And what I've been doing is, you know, we're all familiar with each other as channels. We all have lives, different things like that. But what the goal of this is just to try to get to know you guys a little bit better, a little bit behind the scenes of what makes you guys you, what you guys are up to, just a little bit deeper than we might see on YouTube. Nothing too personal, but just a different side of you guys. And I think people are going to be really interested with everything. So thanks for being willing to undergo all my questions tonight.
No problem. We're happy to be here.
Should be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. And for everyone in the chat, who probably knows, but I don't really kind of pay attention to the comments at first, because I want it to be like just a free-flowing conversation without any interruptions, and we'll take questions and stuff at the end. And so, you know, all stories start at the beginning, right? We were, you know, kids. We didn't know each other before. Sheri, talk to us about kind of what growing up looked like for you. Where did you grow up? What was your family like? What was Sheri like as a kid?
I actually grew up in Alberta, east of Edmonton, on 40 acres. We had horses and chickens and a big vegetable garden. So, you know, homesteading and gardening and taking care of animals and that type of thing, it's not foreign to me. It's something I grew up doing. So.
And did you like it as a kid, or was it like, oh, chores?
It was chores, but you know, you're also you know, I also got the satisfaction. Like, I'd be right proud when I got because the way we did it when I was young is I would be assigned certain rows in the garden to keep weeded or whatever. So it was always fulfilling to, you know, see that nice clean row of vegetables with no weeds and stuff. So even though it was chores, it was still satisfying.
You took pride in your work that you were assigned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And do you have any brothers or sisters, or was it just you? Or
I have a sister. Yeah.
Yep. And how long were you on that farm? Was that your entire childhood, or was that just a piece of it?
Yeah, pretty much for the most part. Like, when I was a teenager, I was probably in about the 6th grade, and you know, we moved a couple times, you know, for work reasons, but we did come back to our property, and then I stayed there with my parents until I moved out. So yeah, we moved.
When would have that been? Like, how old were you then?
I was 18. 18. I went to college and, you know, did that for a while and lived in the dorms. And, you know, I would go home in the summer and live at home in the summer. And of course, you want to be with your friends and go to the city. And so I did that
Yes.
when I was like 18, 19, 20. But, you know, and then, you know what it's like when you're young, things don't work out. You move home for a couple months, you move back out again and
Yeah.
whatnot. And, you know, and I was actually living in the city until I met John. And we both are kind of like-minded and we were tired of the city. So we ended up getting out of the city and moving to the country and decided
And
that
what city would have that been? Like, what city were you in?
Edmonton.
Edmonton. Okay, so you were in Edmonton. Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Edmonton. I was in Edmonton. That's where we actually met.
Okay.
Was out
Yeah,
in
I can
Edmonton.
appreciate that because I, of course, grew up in this very house, and you know, I had a great life. You know, there was no complaints. But when I hit the end of grade 12, I was out of here, and
Yeah.
I went to college, but I went to college out of town, and not to get away from anything, but just to be independent and
Exactly.
to, you know, fly.
Yeah.
So and what about you, John? Then, so where did life start for you?
So, so I guess, you know, when the way I grew up, I mean, I grew up in the country here in Newfoundland, right? And I mean, we had a good bit of land. Yeah, it pretty much was very similar to what we have right now. And you know, we had animals, and you know, we had our own vegetables, and like we had lots of our own food, and you know, we raised our own chickens and own turkeys, and we had pigs, and you know, we harvested all of our own wood. You know, we done everything. We done what we could to keep you know, keep the monthly bill down in the household. So you know, I grew up. That's how I grew up. And when I was 17, I moved away. I moved away to the mainland. So, and I spent 22 years in Alberta, and I probably spent about 15 in the city in Edmonton, and I hated it.
Clearly.
But it done good for me. Like it was good to me.
Yeah.
And but me and Sheri met, and she was kind of tired of the city, and I was tired of the city, and I said, well, you know, let's move to the country. So we had 5 acres. We had 5 acres out in Pigeon Lake, Alberta,
Okay.
and we had our own hens, and you know, we were you know, growing a bit of food, and you know, we were, you know, just the small homestead type of deal, right?
Acreage life.
You know, just acreage life, right? But yeah, I worked out in Alberta. I spent a lot of time out in Alberta working, and I went to school at NAIT, Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, and I'm actually a carpenter scaffolder by trade. And I spent a few years as a site super and a project manager for construction. And you know, I just when you know, when the thing hit here, you know, figured, you know, why not give YouTube a go?
Yep. Yep.
You know,
The thing. Yep.
but yeah,
Gotcha.
you know, we packed up everything and moved to Newfoundland. We bought this property probably almost 10 years ago now, and we had this property well before we moved back here about 4 years ago.
Okay.
And when we came back, you know, we had a plan. We knew what we wanted to do, and you know, we're doing it. So I mean, that's about it, I guess. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know. That's
Yeah,
about
in
it.
a nutshell, right?
Pretty
So I
much.
have to
Pretty
know,
much.
how did you guys meet? You were in Edmonton. What was it? What was the first time you guys saw each other?
We well, I was laid off, and so I decided to just try some different things. And I decided to I was thinking about getting into the trade. I worked in the office for 10 years, and I just find sitting at the desk and working in the office just boring. And I wanted to try something different. I was thinking about going into the trade. So in order to kind of, wet my feet a little bit, I volunteered for Habitat for Humanity.
Hmm.
And so just so happens that John was the supervisor on the project I was assigned to. So that's
Okay.
how we met.
I took the workers home.
And would you say that you clicked right away? Like, were you guys kind of eyeing each other out, or was it later down the road? You had known each other for a while, or
Oh, I eyed him up right away.
you knew?
I was single and looking, so
All right.
of course I walked on the site and was,
Yeah.
checking out the guys.
What can I say? Who would want all this?
And he picked me out to be his helper. And the rest is history.
And the rest is history. So you obviously weren't upset with what you were seeing either, John.
No, well, she was a good helper, and I figured, if she was a good helper on site, maybe she'd be able to cook me supper.
Okay.
Oh man. So how long were you together then before you got married, may I ask?
So we've been together now.
10 years.
We've been together over 10 years now.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of funny because Daniel and I met in February, I guess, and we were dating by, kind of 2 weeks later, which was March, and we were engaged by September, and we were married in October. But
Oh, wow.
But not because we were married by October. So I'm obviously from Canada. He's from the States. And I was on a certain type of work visa down in the States.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine who I had gone to high school with had also been on the same type of visa, different part of the country, but same visa. And he had gotten married to his wife in Canada, but he was working in the States, of course. And there's some clause in there that none of us were aware of, that if you change your marital status, your visa gets revoked, apparently. And so he had been stuck in Canada for a year. And he was a VP of a large company based out of Seattle. He had been there for like eons and eons and eons. They had a home, they were settled, and they wouldn't let him back in the States for over a year. And so I knew this story and it freaked me out. So I contacted an immigration lawyer and I said, look, I just got engaged. It's really important to my fiance and I to get married back home in Canada. Would this happen to me too, potentially, with this visa? And he's like, yeah, like, absolutely. You need to try to get your green card ASAP. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? And he's like, it's quickest to honestly get married and have your wedding, the following summer or whatever, but be married on paper as far as immigration is concerned. And you may get your green card before your wedding the next month. And I was like, the next summer. And I'm like, oh my land. So we got married like 2 weeks after he proposed, which was not what we had in mind. And then we got married the next summer, but crazy.
That's a good story.
So obviously you guys were both on board then with country living, when you got together, because you had both been familiar with that lifestyle. Did you talk about going off grid specifically right away, or was that an idea that came a little bit later on?
I think it came later. I think it just came in the planning process of, what we wanted to do with the property and whatnot. So we really went back and forth on the whole off-grid thing, because, you hear all kinds of different stuff about, there's not enough sun in Newfoundland to go solar, and, all kinds of different stuff. It's too expensive. It's cheaper to be on grid. So we changed our mind a couple of times, but
okay.
we're definitely going to be staying off grid now. It's
working
out pretty good.
Yeah, like Sheri said, I had it in my mind, when we bought this property, I discussed it with Sheri, and You know, I was like, you know, I think it would be really cool if, you know, if we possibly went off grid, right? And, you know, we kind of put it on the back burner, and, you know, and then we started to build here on the property, and we were thinking, you know, let's just go on grid. And then, you know, the power keeps going up in prices here. It's really expensive here in Newfoundland for power. And we just got to a certain point, and that's when our channel was just called Living Simple Homestead, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I changed the name of the channel, because you know, when we got through the first stages of the build, you know, I said to Sheri, I said, you know, when we get older, we're not going to be able to afford to pay the power bill here, because it's very expensive here in Newfoundland. And I said, you know, and even if we can afford it, I don't want to pay it.
Yep.
So you know, I just said, you know what, I think we should go off grid, and you know, stay off grid. We'll build a system in the house that generates enough power between wind turbine, might even do a hydro turbine yet, with a creek in the backyard. I'm not sure, just a few things I got going in my head, but either way, we're going to be staying off grid, and we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it work. And you know, it's just one of those things. It's just another part of being self-sufficient and self-reliant.
Totally.
You know.
Yeah.
And you were living, you know, you said on your 5 acres in Alberta. What was the consensus to go back home for you, John, to Newfoundland versus staying in Alberta or going to another province? Talk us through that decision to go to Newfoundland.
Well, you know, I spent about 22 years roughly in Alberta, and you know, as you get older, you know, you kind of get tired of the rat race, you know, and you know, I grew up in a small town here in Newfoundland, and it wasn't something I was really used to when I got in Alberta 22 years, or well, I mean 25 years ago, and you know, it was just one of those things for me. I just want to get back to the simple life.
Yeah.
And you know, just simple things, and no rat race anymore. You know, because you know, it was really tiring, because at the end of it, for the last few years, me and Sheri had our own construction company, and we were super busy. And you know, when we left Alberta, we were turning away a lot of work, a lot of contracts, big jobs. I mean, our company was just starting to really take off, and I was like, no, I'm not interested. We're leaving. So it was just basically wanted to get back to the simple living, and we already at that time we already had this property purchased.
Yeah.
And you know, I just said to Sheri, I don't know, I just feel like we should just go now, and not hold off any longer. And
the
you know,
time felt
you know,
right.
You make some good money, but I mean, at the same time, you're living up there, and you know, the price of living isn't cheap. So I mean, you're making lots of money, but you're also putting the money out
paying
there
a lot
too.
of money too. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it just didn't add up for us. It was like, you know, for the amount of money we put in the bank every month, it's just not worth staying any longer for. So at that point, we already had the property bought and paid for, and so we left. So we packed up, and we left. We got rid of we sold mostly everything. We took back the basic necessities that we needed.
Sentimental
value, stuff like that, and that was about it. And the rest is history. We just hit the highway and we started driving, and we got here. And as soon as we got here, we cleared the land and put in a driveway.
I got to work.
You know, and we just got at it. We just got to work, and we haven't stopped since. And
no, you
know, like every week we put out videos, you know, and it's like
you're always doing something.
You know,
well, and
every
Sheri,
week we put out videos, you know, and I just wish, you know, our videos don't really show how much work we really do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
you know, there's a lot of behind the scenes, you know,
Yeah.
that we don't put in there, and but we're so busy here, and
Yeah. There's a lot to do to get a homestead up and running.
Yeah.
there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
There
now
is.
we're just trying to get a house up and running and functionable.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and we want to get that done so we can move on to the homesteading stuff.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
want to get quite a bit into detail about all that, because I think that you guys have some amazing plans. You know, Newfoundland is so different than what you would have been used to, Sheri. Were you excited or nervous? Or, I mean, obviously the land had been purchased. Were you fully on board and excited, or were you like, oh, this is quite a change?
Well, we came out here for a vacation, and that's when I first met all of his family and everything like that, and that was actually when we bought the land.
Okay.
And I absolutely loved it here. It's just a different way of life here. It's a simpler way of life. Everybody is so friendly. Like it's so different than the mainland here. And I absolutely loved it. And it's beautiful, and you know, I couldn't wait to move here. After
Awesome.
After that first vacation, I was like, yeah, let's go.
You were feeling it. So you packed up, you moved. What would you say were your initial struggles at first? So you have this property, you have some sort of vision for it. Did you know where you were going to start right away? Did you have any, like, what I want to know, because it's not just easy to land in a place, a piece of property that you've purchased and just start projects. What were your first kind of roadblocks that you had to deal with?
Well, clearing the land was the first roadblock because everything here is rocky and there's a lot of water and the trees are like so thick. So just getting enough land cleared to actually get in here and on the property, that was a challenge right off the bat.
Yeah.
And did you have your own equipment, or did you rent, or what was the situation for your land clearing?
So no, we don't have any of our own equipment yet. But yeah, we had a company come in and do our driveway. Once the driveway was in, we waited for a while. We actually lived in our RV before we started YouTube. I wish we had to start YouTube a little earlier.
I wish we would have started when we left Alberta.
We actually lived in our RV on the property
for a year.
But we weren't doing YouTube then, and we didn't start doing YouTube until you know what hit, right?
It wasn't even a thought.
It wasn't even a thought. And when the sea hit, then I got laid off. Sheri was off work.
And you were laid off. What had you been doing before that?
I was an estimator, project manager for a construction company here.
Okay.
And so we got laid off, and I said to Sheri, I said, well, you know, we need to cut back on the bills because, you know, it's a little pricey, and with two of us laid off, you know, you got to make some changes, right? And because we didn't know, and nobody still knows, you know, how long this was going to go on for.
Right.
So, you know, we made some changes, and one of those changes was, you know, we took out cable TV. Just a simple change, right? But I mean, you know, that's $100 a month. $100 a month is $100 a month. And so we took that out, but we kept our unlimited internet, and we just started watching YouTube. And we were watching, started watching, Dutch, keeping it Dutch. And you know, Sean is a great guy. I've talked to Sean quite a bit actually, and he's been a lot of inspiration for me. And you know, when I got talking to ran into MBF, you know, with Jeremy and Ashley, you know, and I worked with Jeremy up in Alberta from MBF, Modern Homestead.
Whoa, small world.
Right. right? The two of us were with the Carpenters Union in
Of course,
Alberta,
every good Canadian has worked in Alberta at some point,
right?
you know?
Yeah.
Right? And me and Jeremy, we worked together up in Alberta, and so you know, it's like, you know, this is pretty cool. This is I think this community is pretty
That
cool
is
community,
cool.
right? So anyways, me and Sheri was just sitting down watching, you know, Keeping It Dutch. We were sitting down watching MBF and just a few channels like that, and
Sean
James,
You were watching a
Sean
lot of
James,
him.
My Self-Reliance, you know. And so anyways, you know, I said to Sheri, I said, well, you know, what Sean is doing and what MBF is doing, you know, I can do it.
Well, we were
You
more
know?
like, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, and
So-
I'm like, Sheri was like, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be doing the same thing that Sean is doing, at Keeping It Dutch, and Jeremy and Ashley at MBF. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah, might as well. Give it a
So-
go.
I love some of your early videos too, of
No.
like the cast iron cooking outdoors and
Yeah.
all the meals that you guys did. I love that. The early days, what you were eating, and
Well, you know, that's one thing about me. I've always been an outdoorsman. I love the outdoors. I was actually going to start an outdoors channel. That's what I wanted to do in the beginning, was do an
Okay.
outdoor channel. I still may do one. That's not out of the question yet. I still may do one down the road after I have this channel up and going.
yep.
But
Well,
you know,
I'd say you have it up and going, my friend. You are pretty successful.
yeah, thanks.
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, but you know, and then I was like, you know, Sheri, I said, you know, we're gonna be building you know, a homestead. You know, we know what we want. We want to have animals. We want to build our own home. You know, and then we decided to be off grid and all this stuff. And you know, it was just kind of just all fell into place. You know, and just, you know, ended up doing exactly what our friends Jeremy and Ashley are doing in New Brunswick. So it's
Yeah.
just worked out that way. You know.
Yeah. So,
But yeah,
let's talk about that more for a second. So you know, challenges were land clearing and stuff. What were some things that you were surprised at how easy they came when you were starting out? Like, what were you like, this is actually like really smooth?
well, you know, for honestly, 100% honesty, and I like, that's one thing about us. You know, I like to keep everything 100% honesty and transparent, and keep it real with all of our viewers.
Me
That's just
too.
the way
That's
we
so
are.
important to me too.
You know, it's very important to me and Sheri. And I don't know, you know, it's I'm a woodsman. You know, that's something. You know, I grew up in the woods. Chainsaws, like, it's I can sleep
in
with
your
my
blood.
chainsaw.
You
It's a
bleed
tool.
chainsaw oil.
It's connected to my hip. Like, I can use it with my eyes closed. You know, I'm just so used to it, right? But so in the woods for me, and you know, growing food, you know, just, you know, anything to do with homesteading, really, I can do it.
Yeah.
I'm used to the animals. I'm used to in the woods harvesting my own wood. I'm used to building. I'm a carpenter. Even though, you know,
You
some of
had
the
all
videos,
the skills that it would
so-
take.
even though some of our videos may not show that I look like a carpenter, because, you know, we're using recycled materials. We're recycling you know, but you
Yeah.
know, we're doing what we have to do with
Yeah.
what we got to work with. If I was able to do this place the way we actually, you know, if we had a lot of money, then, you know what, I'd have 3 of these places built by now, and I'd have them built just the way we would have wanted to have it, right? But you know what, we're happy that we've been using used materials and keeping it at the landfill, because that's another thing about us too. We like to do things that's we like to contribute our best to keeping the planet a cleaner, better place.
That's awesome.
And that's another reason. That's another good reason too, that we want to be off grid too. Just cleaner,
Yeah.
a cleaner source of power, and it's also self-reliance at the same time. You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
You no doubt had a vision, you know, of what you wanted from your homestead. Would you say that you were able to, like, so far stay pretty true to that, or has it pivoted quite a bit and become, like, I know the off-grid thing has changed and stuff, but would you say you've stayed pretty true to what you wanted, or has it changed several times?
I think we've pretty much stayed true to to what we wanted to do
Yeah.
originally. The only thing that changed, you know, in the beginning stages of the build was we decided that, you know what, we're going to go off grid and be off grid full time. And
did that
you know,
change things for you quite a bit? Like, was that a huge, did you have to completely revamp your plan, or was it pretty easy to just change everything to knowing that you're going to be off grid?
so it was actually really easy. It was
Okay.
actually a really easy transition to make because, you know, in the beginning stages of the build, you know, you're still kind of planning, right?
Right.
You know, we had a plan, but you know, we were making little tiny changes in the beginning, but you know, there was still no electrical ran yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it will be here soon. That's coming up here in really soon,
Very soon.
very
Yeah.
soon. Oh yeah, we got a ton coming, but yeah, I mean, it didn't really change anything for us. It just made the vision more clear, you know, and it just gave us more of a purpose for what we truly want.
Well, we really did want to go off grid all along, but you know, we were just weighing the pros and cons over the past like year or two, and you know, that's kind of why we've, you know, kind of gone back and forth a little bit, just, you know, like I said, weighing the pros and cons and trying to figure out what was best. But we finally, you know, made this solid decision here that off grid is what's best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's how we're living right now. It's not easy. How we're living is not far from easy. Not many people could do it, and you
I
know,
believe
but
that.
we're working through it. It's a daily struggle. I'll be 100% honest with you, Aaron. It is a daily struggle, but you know what? We're pretty tough.
Yeah.
And
Of course you are.
you
You're
know,
Newfoundlanders.
we're pretty tough,
Yeah.
and we're going to get through it. And we're doing bit by bit by bit. The next thing you know, the house will be done. We'll have a windmill in the air, solar panels on the roof,
It's going to be
and we'll
so
be
cool.
bringing in our own power. And there'll be animals running around the acreage here, around the homestead. So you know,
I
you
love
just
it.
got to stick to it. You just got to stick to the. You got to stick to the end goal.
Focus on the goal.
Focus. And just focus on that end goal and what you want, and like for any smaller channel, you know, that might be watching or anything like that, if you think that you can't do it, get that out of your head.
Yeah.
You know, say, you know what, it's not impossible. If it's not impossible, you can do it. You know.
Sean and Jess say, yeah, you're tough, John. I see you picking up trees as big as you are. But I think you're right. You know, people think that off-grid living is some romantic thing that, you know, is going to be all sunshine and roses and unicorn dust. And I love that you're saying, you know, that's not the case. Yes, it has
No.
amazing advantages. You're glad you did it. It's a lifestyle you want to live, but nobody is saying that it's easy, you know. I love the honesty for sure.
Absolutely not. You know, anyone got any questions for me? I'm always 100% honest.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to try to make it out to be something that is not.
Yeah.
Because it is what it is. It's tough.
Yeah.
If you want to go off grid and build off grid and live off grid year round,
yeah.
I mean, it's a big difference than going to the cabin for a weekend for a couple days.
Yes.
And going back to the city.
Right. That's right.
A big difference. We're off grid full time, year round.
Yeah. And there's, you know, one thing that we've learned, so we're starting opposite of you guys, is we're starting with a fully built modern home that is fully on grid, and we are trying bit by bit by bit by bit to get ultimately off. And
that's awesome. That's awesome.
I know the stuff that it took to take this my computer was chiming at me. I know what we had to do with the well, with my dad getting firewood and all that stuff. But again, we had electricity, we had well water and all this stuff at our fingertips. I know what it was like when those things went out, and we would have to deal with that. But you know, you had everything at your fingertips. And Daniel and I are going right now from a 2-income family, which we still are, but we're getting all the preparation in place, right? It's like we're doing more garden space every year. We're getting more diverse animals for meat and breeding and money, and putting pastures up, and you know, getting grass seeded and fences built, and learning as we go, because ultimately I guess we would label ourselves as city people with not really all that many skills, you know. And again, in the interest of honesty, you know, and you guys know when you watch my videos, I'm like, well, I don't really know what I'm doing, but here we go, you know. Like when I put up the sheep fencing in the fall, and I'm like, I don't like, okay, like I'm gonna stretch it like this. You guys probably out there in YouTube land are gonna call me crazy, but and I am, and I admit it. I don't know what I'm doing, but here we go, and it worked out, and it's so satisfying. But you know, we want to, you know, be self-sufficient and put solar in and use the creek and have the water, and it gets frigid, you know. And it's like, you have the wood stove, you got to do firewood. If you don't have firewood and you haven't put the work in, you're not staying warm in the winter, you're not cooking, you're not, you know. So
actually just talking about the wood stove,
we're almost like
the wood stove, I got to
he's gonna check
I
it
gotta
now.
check it now.
Yeah, it serves as a reminder.
This
know,
is it, right? I mean, this is it. I mean,
I think it's super hard.
What you get.
What's that? He's
I said, what you're seeing here now, this is it. I mean, you know, that's the thing. Like there's some channels that are transparent and honest, and then there's some that aren't. And it is what it is.
Yeah.
But you know, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But I always said to Sheri, I said, if we're doing this, then I want to make sure that you know, when people come to our channel, I want to make sure what they see is what they get.
Yeah, that's all you can do, right? Is be honest and genuine, because people are gonna sniff that out too. You know, it's like, I don't want people coming to my channel or supporting me who are in it for something or want to, you know, like, if you like me and you like my content, like, awesome, you know. I am just only going to be me. If you're thinking that I'm going to, you know, if I'm some, you know, guru on something, I am not. You know, it's interesting. You guys and us are kind of opposite. You guys are building something off grid. There's a lot of work. We are deconstructing, going off grid, and they're both tough, right? They both take an adjustment.
It is. Yeah. It is. So, I renovated houses for a long time.
Yeah.
And I know when you're taking stuff apart, it's hard work, you know? And that's basically what you're doing. You're taking work apart and creating more work, but in the end,
isn't that messed up?
Right? Is it right? But in the end, though, it'll pay off, because you know you'll be doing what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
not be a slave to anything else.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I want to talk about your cabin build. So, you know, obviously you have a construction background, so that's really cool that you could do, you know, kind of yourself so much. Not everybody has that. How was it to build the cabin in an environment where there is no power, and like, talk about the logistics of an off-grid build?
No different than a regular home build, really, in my opinion. Not yet. I mean, like I say, we're about to get do the electrical and run plumbing. You know, like, there's a lot of work still to do. I mean, as far as you know, our power goes, you know, we're still shopping for, you know, windmills and batteries and panels and like everything. So I mean, you know, I'm not sure how this is all going to work out.
Well, but you don't have, like, you know, corded drills and saws and stuff. So is everything cordless, or how does that work? You're plugged into generators? What?
Generators.
So right now we have a generator, but we also have a couple sponsors on the channel as well. And I don't want to name one of them because I haven't put a video yet, but we do have a couple solar generators, and they help huge. Cut back on fuel consumption, and they work great.
I might have to talk to you about that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we do have a couple solar generators through the channel, and we do use the gas generator now and then
to charge
the solar generators if we have to, and because they charge really quick.
And what all can you run on that then? Like
everything that you see here right now. There's no generator running.
We're on it right now.
We're on it right now.
Is that our internet?
Do you have a washer and dryer? How do you clean your clothes?
We go to the laundromat right now.
To the laundromat today.
We went to the laundromat today. Sheri did.
Yep.
But we do have a laundry room in the back of the house that is getting framed right now. So you'll have to watch the future videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a normal. The inside of this house is going to be like walking into a normal home when it's done. Yep. You know, what can I? You know, I am going to do a video probably in the next week or two, and we're gonna take you for a tour of the inside of the house, and we're gonna show everybody the layout of our home.
Very cool.
And you know, there's gonna be a laundry room, mechanical room in the house, in the back of the house there, just like a normal home.
Yep.
With a washer and dryer. You know, but you know, we're looking at systems right now that's going to be able to handle that, power this house, power the garage, power to the barn, to the waters, you know, the water warmers or whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to be
That's
a lot
the
of
one
power.
part I'm worried about is to have enough power to power the pump down at the well, and then like the dryer, and then everything else we're pretty good with, I think. But
yeah, and I mean, you know, it all really goes back to being conservative, because you know, like when I lived up in the city, I didn't ever think about, you know, I just turn on a switch or plug something in or whatever. I never really thought about, you know,
where it came from.
How many watts
is this?
Right?
You know, how many watts is this going to burn, right?
Right.
You know, and now it's like, you know, we watch all of our wattage that we're drawing. We're watching all the wattage that we're, you know, that we bring in, because we do have solar panels here too. And so, you know, we're watching
it's like
everything.
Counting calories. You're like this.
I'm telling you, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. And but you know, it's kind of a little game that me and Sheri's kind of created for ourselves. I think it will entertain ourselves in the country.
I love it.
But yeah, you know, you're always watching the wattage and stuff like that, and you learn to be more conservative and not so wasteful. And I don't know, I enjoy it. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. When we get this build further along and we start putting panels up and we install a windmill, a wind turbine, and I mean, yeah, we'll have a little bit more power to use then, but we'll still be very conservative, and we'll watch where all of our power is going.
Yeah.
You know, but
well, it kind of goes along with the lifestyle too, right? It's like simpler life, keeping things pared down a little bit.
That's it. Living simple.
Yeah. So what is on the docket for 2022 specifically? In the next year, what's planned? What is the vision for this year?
A lot.
That's all he's saying, folks. That's all he's saying. A lot.
I mean, there's going to be, we're going to have our own power. That's going to be happening. And you know, we're finishing the inside of the cabin. You know, we got some landscaping that we want to do. Even though we're off grid, we want our property to look nice.
Yeah.
You know, we've worked hard.
And what do you have to finish inside specifically? What, like you said, the laundry room?
Well, Well, we're in the framing process now, so
Yeah.
like we have lots to do, like
Yeah.
drywall and
People
flooring
got to go see all your
and
videos. I think everybody here
finishing
knows that
and
though. Like I think everybody's on your
painting and
channel, but yeah.
But yeah, we have the electrical, the plumbing to run. We have we only have half the front of the house insulated right now. That we have the front half. It's turned into a bachelor suite basically. This is our living quarters.
This is our living room kitchen right here.
This is everything.
Our open concept living area.
We're working on the back end right now, finishing
Home
the
in
framing
one.
on the back end. Get the insulation in and plumbing, electrical, get everything done, and a panel in and
It's
approved.
a lot of work.
And and then vapor barrier and drywall, and that's as much as I'm going to tell you.
Yeah,
because
fair enough.
a ton. There is an absolute ton coming besides this cabin build to the channel. After this cabin build is done, there's more builds coming on this property.
Then we can really start homesteading.
What are you most excited about aside from your house to come to fruition? Like what brings the joy of what is coming? If you can tell us. If you can't, that's okay.
To get animals again and grow our own food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to be like fully self-sufficient.
Yep.
As self-sufficient as possible. Like, you're still gonna have to buy some things at the grocery store, obviously.
For sure.
But,
some stuff, but
yeah, for sure.
For the most part, though, next summer you'll probably see us out in the boat catching our own fish and harvesting fish and putting that away in the freezer for the winter. We're going to be moose hunting. We're probably going to get a beer tag. We're going to be processing a lot of our own food next fall, and we're going to do as much as possible to feed ourselves, because you never know what could happen in the world. And things are getting pretty hairy and crazy in the world right now.
Are you a pretty sufficient hunter, or is that something new for you, or that's old hat?
Yeah, no, I've done some hunting before, so there's nothing new.
I've never hunted.
I'm a country boy, Aaron.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're just looking forward to this build being done.
Yeah, well, that's a huge project. I mean, honestly, it's all consuming, really, right? Like it
is very consuming right now, because like, to be honest, day-to-day life isn't easy right now. We gotta haul in water, and we gotta heat the water on the stove, and just all those types of things just make like day-to-day living more complicated than it would be if the house was completely finished and we had plumbing and so we really are excited to have
we're excited
the house done.
We're excited to get all the framing done on the back and get the house all electrical all ran, because once the electrical is ran and the plumbing is ran, then we can finish insulating and vapor barrier, and
that'll be
then
huge.
we can open up the middle of the house here.
Yeah.
Where we have it all hoarded off and be half normal, because it is starting to get a little old now. But we're doing what we have to.
Yeah.
While we build.
Yeah.
But it takes time and it takes money, and you do what you can do when you can do it.
Yeah.
But it's coming, and we'll get it.
Yep.
But it'll get easier as time goes on, because
and it has gotten
and
easier.
it has right. The biggest struggle for us definitely would be the gas generator. We've gone through two. We're on our second one now, and it's heading back into the shop on Monday, and it's been a hassle since we've had it. But that's it. I mean, that's the way it goes. They're not meant to be ran all the time. They're emergency backup. They're not used all the time.
Right.
So they're not built to run
all day, every day.
constant, every day. You know, that's just the way it is. It's just one of those things. It'll always be a constant battle. Is those generators, right? But
Yeah.
but you know, it is getting easier with
You're a
the
little bit at their mercy, you know.
yeah, you know. Well, you know, as the channel is growing and you know we're you know we got a couple solar generators sent to us and stuff like that. That makes it a lot. Things are getting a lot easier for us now
Hmm.
as we go by. And you know, and hopefully they'll just keep getting a little easier for us, and that'll help us get along a little faster, I think. So
Yeah. Well, and your channel has even grown so much in the last few months, you know, like people are clearly interested in what you're doing, you know, which is not a surprise. And you're going to continue to have, uh, you know, more and more support and, you know, potentially more and more options and things available to you that may make things easier. That's so exciting.
yeah,
it is.
yeah, it is. It's very exciting, I have to say, you know. But you know, it's this community. It really is a great community, and we've met so many good people in this community. And you know, I truly am happy that we started YouTube just for that reason. You know, it's the people that we're after getting to know, and the people that we're probably going to end up meeting all over all over.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's just that's worth it. You know, that makes it worth it, right? And
Yeah.
then you know, probably end up meeting a few subscribers here and there, and you know, that's always exciting too for us. You know, that's
Mm-hmm.
exciting. That's what drives our channel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so you know, we're pretty excited to meet some of our subscribers eventually, and
Mm-hmm.
that'll be really neat. That'll be really cool.
Well, and it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier too, about being genuine, and because the the person, the people that you are, you draw a certain caliber of people to you as well. You know, there's
Yeah,
people on all of our channels that maybe don't engage or who um you know, aren't aligned with the same kind of style that we are or whatever, but that's something that's been so important to me, to just be honest and authentic and genuine. And I know that for some people YouTube is a like a thing to be conquered, or it's like a like an obsession, or a,
yeah,
you know, you're playing the game of, you know, we got to get this many videos out and we got to work it so that, you know, for me it's just like I do it because I love it. I love meeting the people. I've learned so much. And you know, it's like people get so focused on monetization and this and that, and they're, you know, the channel almost comes across as desperate, you know, and you're like, what are you
yeah,
doing? What are you doing?
yeah.
Like, nobody wants to see that. Like, just be you, you know. You want to like scream at these channels that you're
That's
seeing.
it. You know, and there is a lot of channels out there like that. Unfortunately, it's very unfortunate. And but you know, everybody's got their way of doing things, and some ways aren't the right way. And I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm one of the lucky ones. Me and Sheri, you know, that we've actually been going ahead and getting ahead with the channel and stuff. But
Yeah.
you know, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna look desperate, and I'm
No.
gonna always keep it true to myself.
And people
And
like that, you know,
you
like
know,
they're not dumb.
and that I think just that right there really attracts people.
Yes.
You know, it's just one of those things. You know, it's a pride thing. Um, yeah, it's a pride thing for me. Just keep it real with yourself, and in return, you'll be keeping it real with your followers and your friends and everybody that's watching. And you know, that's that's very important. You know.
Yeah. What's something that you've learned about yourselves in doing a YouTube channel? Anything? Like, what's something that, like, because you have a channel that you're like, huh, I never would have guessed XYZ.
Yes, I have learned a lot. I've learned a lot since I started this channel, And because I started the channel, and because Sheri didn't want nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Yeah, Sheri wasn't in the channel right in the beginning.
I'm not
Your face right now, Sheri, is hilarious. You're like,
yeah.
I'm just not. I'm more of like
Right.
I'm not the most outgoing person
Yeah.
and stuff. So
She's an introvert.
I'm a little bit introverted. So
Right.
yeah.
it's
Daniel is
definitely been an
too. He's like,
adjustment
do I
for me.
have to be
and
on this
that's
video?
okay.
I'm like, yes, you do.
But I got her into it, and I loosened her up. I made her feel comfortable, and then and I don't think she'd be able to give it up now. But
We love you, Sheri.
right?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It's a
You're
great
part of it.
community. It's we got a ton of friends, and a ton of friends in other channels and subscribers. So it's been great,
Yeah.
man. I'm telling you,
It
we're
is
super
kind of
blessed.
weird though. Like if you're like, who showcases their life? It's like, and then one day you do, and it's kind of
Right.
we're doing
Well,
this.
that was what my like why I didn't want to do it at first, right? But then I realized, like we are showcasing our life, obviously, but you don't have to put absolutely everything out there. Some things are obviously still going to remain private, and
Yep.
you're not gonna
Absolutely.
put everything on there, like.
No, but to answer your question, Aaron, I've definitely learned a lot. Have definitely
Yourself?
no, as far as YouTube goes, definitely learned a lot. A lot of self education and figuring out what triggers that algorithm and make your channel grow.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot involved. A lot of people don't realize how much it really is involved to making your channel absolutely take off and grow.
Yeah.
But there is, and it's been going good so far. I wish there's a ton of great channels out there, and that's you can actually, if anyone don't notice, like you can actually do YouTube Academy for free, and you can go online on the YouTube on your laptop and go in Academy, and you can go through the Academy, and it'll tell you for optimizing your content. It'll tell you everything that you shouldn't and should do to become successful at a YouTube channel. And I've gone through it twice. And it's something I would definitely recommend for every channel to do.
So you would attribute some of your success to going through that academy? Like you feel you identify things that definitely.
Absolutely. If you follow those YouTube guidelines and you educate yourself, I think you'll you got a good chance of being successful on YouTube, if that's what you want. If
Right.
I mean, for us, I mean, that's what I want for sure. Yes, don't get me wrong. We love making content, and we love putting content out there for our viewers. But in order to keep the content going, it would be nice to be able to do this full time, long term, so we can just keep doing what we love. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I never started this to make a living, but if I can make a living at what I love, like everybody likes to do, then why not, right? And it keeps you doing it. That's what it's all about, Like you got to enjoy what you do. If you make a living doing what you love to do, then right on. And if you're putting a smile on other people's faces in the process, man, you know what? That's perfect. That's a perfect job. And it's not even a job.
It is.
It's fun, right? It's fun, right?
Right.
And you're making tons of friends in the process. Like it don't get no better than that, right?
No, it doesn't get better than that. It's interesting because you can tell who's enjoying themselves too, based on content, right? Like you can tell who's kind of going through the motions, or it's work, or people who are like just having fun doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both YouTube and living this lifestyle, I guess I should clarify. Like
Yep.
Both of them.
Yep. You know, I gotta say, like, for us, like, you know, we're really good friends with Jeremy and Ashley. I'm sure you already know that, but they're the most fun people. You know, like they're excellent to watch. You know, and it's something that you want to watch
Yeah.
because you know they're keeping it real.
They're having fun.
They're having fun. They're
Yeah.
keeping it real. They're staying true to themselves and to their viewers. And you know, that's what people want in the end. That's what people want is they want to see real. They want to see you enjoy yourself
Yeah.
and have fun, you know. And you know, we're Sheri's an introvert,
He's an extrovert.
and you know,
We
I'm
had no
sometimes
idea.
awkward.
No, you're not.
But you know, the longer you do this, the more you know you start to feel comfortable. It's like anything, right?
Yeah.
But you know, we're getting there. We're
Yeah.
getting there.
You
You
guys
know,
are
and
doing just fine.
you know, but we're gonna start keeping a lot more things in our videos from now on.
Keep it more natural.
And because you know, before I was taking out a lot of stuff because you know I don't want to see. I didn't want to see. I didn't want to have people see me being awkward.
Or make a mistake.
Interesting.
Or...
I didn't know that.
And now I'm at a point is like, you know what? I'm gonna let them see everything because you know,
Yeah.
for one, this is who we are.
Yeah.
And this is what we are like. We're awkward.
Take us or leave us, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And but you're gonna start seeing a lot of different stuff in their videos, and I think it'll be pretty funny. But
I love that. I love that. You know, and people like funny too. Well, Daniel says that. He's like, I don't know what to say in front of the camera. And I'm like, people
That's
love
me.
you though. Like they ask why you're not on more videos. You
Yeah.
know, they want to see you. And he's like, oh, I don't know. And then there's me who's just, da, 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 da. I have to edit my videos because I'll have, you know, a piece of information that would take 2 minutes and I'm explaining it for 5. And Daniel's like, you have got to pare that down, you know, because I'll just be, and some of it makes it in. Actually, case in point, I have, I think it's the video that I'm going to be posting about, we had one of our chickens came down with a respiratory virus and was really sick. So that's coming up. But I think that in the course of the video, in different sections, I repeat myself in the same story like 3 times, but it's me.
I know, right?
The thing that I've learned from doing this, not meaning to make this about me, but the thing that I've learned from YouTube is the people that are here on my channel like watching it because they like me, us, what we're doing. They feel like they've gotten to know us, you know, they feel like they've gotten to know you, and they want to see what you're up to because they're interested. And they don't care if your, you know, hair isn't done or you botched this job or you don't know what you're doing or, you know what I mean?
Yep.
They like you and they're there because they want to see what you've done that week, you know? And I think a weakness of mine has been that I've overcome. Actually, I can probably say that doing this for a year now, I've overcome it. Is I used to be worried about the content I put out.
Yeah.
Well, people wouldn't be interested in seeing that. I'm not even going to make a video on that. And now I'm like, you know what? If they don't want to watch it, they won't watch it. They'll say, that video doesn't look right for me. I'm not going to watch that one. Okay. And it's funny because sometimes the things I was looking the other day at some of we took a hiatus over Christmas and New Year's where we didn't really post content. We just kind of took a step away from social media. And so we're really excited to get back into everybody and start supporting everybody again. But I was looking at some of our like analytics and some of the videos that I thought were like nobody would be interested in.
They've done the best.
Our highest grossing video, or not grossing, but like are the ones that people like the best. So I think that you know we got to get out of our own heads, present the content, and trust that people like us because they like us, and they're gonna watch.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's kind of, we were like that in the beginning too, and we kind of still are a little bit, but now we're getting a little bit more loose about us, and we're like, you know what, we're just going to keep everything real.
Yep.
And we'll post whatever we got.
Yeah. No.
And if because like, we're not a building channel. We're not a building channel. We're never going to be a building channel. We're just in the building stages right now. Don't get me wrong. You're going to see a ton of more building on this channel.
Right.
But we are a from the ground up homesteading channel. So
we're getting comments in the chat. I'm going to start addressing comments now, you guys. So if you have questions or comments, start hitting us up because we want to hear what you have to say. I just want to address a couple of these. So people are agreeing, like Country Acres Off Grid says, so many people are just interested in this lifestyle too. So there's people who are actively thinking about doing it, so they're trying to learn, or there's people who are in the city who will never be able to do it. It's just, that's not going to be in the cards for them, but they live through the experiences of others, so there's a lot of different demographics that watch, and then there's kind of people who are doing it too. And that camaraderie, right?
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing for me, the biggest thing for me, and I'm sure Sheri can, speak probably the same thing, is keeping it real and not expecting anything from anybody else in return. And, I don't know, just be yourself, and don't come across desperate. People don't want to see that.
No.
And
make videos that are true to your brand,
Yeah.
If you're homesteading, then don't just all of a sudden start about, I don't know, the finds that you found under $5 at Walmart, I'm like, huh? What? We do have a question. So Mike from Empty Homestead. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
So he says, John, have you started your guest room so I have a place to stay when we come and visit?
No, we haven't started them yet, my buddy. But we got a long ways to go on the. We got a long ways to go on this main off-grid cabin first. But once this one is done, you'll have to keep watching. Just
stay tuned, Mike, is what he's saying. Stay tuned.
And don't
we
be giving
have
away
Philip
my secret,
from
Mike.
Arizona Kid who had taken a hiatus from YouTube. I just want to say hey to Philip.
Oh, geez,
so cool to see you in here.
But yeah, there'll definitely be a place for you to stay, Mike.
You're always welcome, Mike.
Yeah.
Country Acres Off Grid says, we find that there are a lot of people that are uncertain of the future and are therefore interested in off-grid living and self-sufficiency. Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Thanks, Marshall. He says that he enjoys both of our channels.
Thanks
a
Marshall.
lot. That's really nice
Marshall's
of you.
been with us for a long time now.
Yeah. Philip agrees. He says, just do your thing, be yourself,
Yeah, absolutely.
Just be yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely.
People are saying hi to Philip. So Simple Life Reclaimed. I saw you guys pop in. So cool to have you guys. I've been watching Simple Life Reclaimed. I've been subscribed to you guys for a long time. So I love watching you guys. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for coming to check out John and Sheri. I know that you're very familiar with them, so they are not new to you.
No, birthday today.
Happy birthday, Mel.
Oh, it's your birthday, Mel. Happy birthday. Right on.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Okay, question from Mel. Which off-grid chore do you like the least? Hauling in water or fetching firewood? And then I have a story. They're asking you, so please answer. And then I have a story about that too.
And who asked that question?
Mel.
Mel and Gary? Well, Mel, it's all torture, but I'll narrow it down to one. No, I'm only kidding. No, you know what? I don't mind doing the wood. I'm just super used to it. Hauling in water.
The well's just
Yeah,
outside the door. It's really not that big of a
it's
deal.
really
It's
not.
just a hassle.
Yeah, it's. I don't mind doing any of it, to be honest. But you know what, Mel? I'd say probably. I don't know. Let's see. For me, it's neither one because I'm just. I don't know. I grew up rough. I'm used to it. To go to the well to get water is like a normal thing. Like it's really not a big deal. But I'd have to say, in the cold, in the wintertime, going out and pounding a hole through 1.5 inch thick ice in the well this morning to get water.
He says water. Well, that fits with what Jesse's saying. Jesse from Lazy Days Ahead. He said, "Who is that guy with the red beard? Is that Yukon John?"
That's
Hey,
Yukon
Jesse.
John. Yeah. Hey, Jesse.
I have to say, I have a story about this. We do our heat strictly with firewood, and that doesn't bother me at all. I love doing it. We're always well prepared. The hauling water thing, I have a story. So, as you know, Daniel broke his arm this late summer, fall, and was
Yep.
completely shattered it in multiple places, broke his wrist, the whole thing. Was quite off his feet for the initial period, and then of course he wasn't allowed to lift after that. Okay, fine. Then I got the health affliction, which we will not name. The whole family did, as you also would have seen in our videos.
Yep.
But here's the thing, and I know that we talked about this in the videos, but I'm going to share for Mel because she hasn't been subscribed to my channel yet. Our well, the pump died when this all happened. So we got sick. His arm was he had surgery on it, and he was incapacitated. And I got so sick that I honestly, they would have hospitalized me. I know this because I knew my oxygen numbers and all that, but I was stubborn and I stayed home. But that's a whole other thing. But our well went out. And so Daniel can't haul. He's sick. I'm sick as a dog. So, but we're hauling water from the creek. And I'll never forget that I'm like, you have no energy. I could barely breathe. Did I post that? I posted my video out of breath on YouTube, didn't I? Or was that on Instagram?
Yeah. It was on Instagram stories.
Yeah, I think so. That's right. And here I am hauling water from the creek because you have to, because you're on quarantine. Ain't nobody coming to help you, and Daniel can't do it because he can't, he had a good arm, but he had just had his surgery. Like he wasn't doing anything. I'm sick as snot. So hauling water and me do not have good memories. Let's just say that.
Right?
Oh man.
It's I don't know. It's when we got all the plumbing and electrical.
Okay.
When we got all the plumbing and electrical ran in this soft grid cabin, life is going to get easy.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to make a huge difference. So we have a couple more things. Marshall wants to know when I'm doing the barn build. Yeah. So we built barn number 1, which is more going to be for like our lambing jugs, and the one side of it is for the cows, like for a windbreak or whatever, like a pretty nice 3-sided, our red barn or whatever.
Yep.
So that's like an animal shelter. Then we'll during lambing season, which we get our sheep in May. Everyone knows I'm super excited about that. That's going to be ultimately for lambing jugs. And then we were going to do our second barn build, which is going to be, it's probably not a barn, more like a shop maybe. So for equipment and hay and kind of that kind of thing. We couldn't do it because Daniel broke his arm. It was supposed to be done this fall. So to answer your question, Marshall, the cement pad is poured, as you guys know. You saw that video. So as soon as the snow melts, we're gonna go for it. So very, very soon. Well, I mean,
nice.
No, we're under a lot of snow. Not very soon. As soon as the snow is gone, we're gonna start our builds.
When the snow melts, anyway.
When the snow melts. Countryside Acres, I'd say hauling water is worse for us right now. -25 this week. We haul 1,000 liters at a time from the creek and then transfer it to the house. And then wood is just outside the door. Yeah, it's not an easy, it's not just you turn on the tap, right?
No. No, definitely not. I mean, like I say, the front of our house is our bachelor pad. It's our living quarters. We cook in here on the wood stove. We have a sink hooked into the plumbing that we could wash the dishes in, and we get a wash in. We get our bath in. We do everything on this side, and we're roughing it. I
Yeah.
mean, we're roughing it. This is the real deal, and it's not easy. So for anyone out there looking to get into off-gridding, do your research and definitely educate yourself. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, man, it's not easy, but
No.
but it'll get easier as time goes by.
Yep.
You know,
Well, electricity is, and actually Jesse's just saying this too. He's reading my mind. Electricity is going to be a game changer. Insulation will be a game changer. He says, "Yeah,
Yep.
it's all a game changer, Jesse.
it's all a game changer."
It's all a game changer. But you know, when the whole house, when the electrical's all done and the whole house is insulated, and we can actually use the entire house again instead of just half of it on the front half, that really is going to be a game changer.
He's being cheeky now. He's saying indoor plumbing will be a game changer.
Yep.
That's Jesse, yeah.
Every step along the way is a game changer.
But when you're living off grid and you don't have any luxuries at all, every little thing is a game
step
changer.
up.
Yep.
Yeah. Does anyone have any other questions or comments? Well, we have John and Sheri. It's pretty cool to have you guys to be able to chat with. There's so many channels that I love on YouTube, but I do have to say you guys have a special place in my heart because I just love what you guys are doing. And
Nice.
I don't know. I always love when you guys post, when I see a new video up from you guys or following along. It's just so cool. So
Hey,
it's
that's
been
awesome.
fun to
We
chat.
appreciate that. We
Thank
appreciate that, Aaron. Thank you.
Yeah. Laura from Hedgehog's Homestead says, "You start building our house in 3. You start building our house in 3." I'm not sure what that means. Is there anything you guys recommend to take care of first? I guess she's saying they're going to start.
And
building
who's
their
that
house.
from? And who's that from, Aaron?
Laura from Hedgehog's Homestead.
Okay. So Laura, the biggest thing. Well, I don't know how far along. Have they started their homestead yet?
Laura, maybe you can just give us a little bit more detail. I'm sorry that I didn't understand the first part of the question. So we'll have Laura clarify here. In the meantime, Jesse wants to know what your favorite hockey team is.
Man, I don't even watch hockey.
After last
of his
night, you don't
videos.
like hockey.
I have no idea. I don't know anymore, Jesse.
Do you
We don't like hockey anymore.
John doesn't even like hockey.
I watched.
Who are the Oilers?
I don't know. I'm gonna start watching football.
Can you
Hockey's
imagine?
terrible. But no, I'm an Oilers fan, Jesse. Thanks for pointing that out there, Jesse. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wants to know where roughly in
Oh, my hat
BC
from
are
Shane.
we? He's putting it in backwards. We are right. So we're in the mountains between the Okanagan and the Kootenays. We're right in the mountain range there, in the middle of, just kind of on the boundary of where the Okanagan Valley turns into the Kootenays is where we are.
Beautiful.
Ariel's still listening. My Raindrop Life is here. Hey. Says make you appreciate the little things in life, for sure.
I know. I even said to John, I said, can you imagine what it's like when we'll be able to just turn on the tap and hot water's going to come out of it?
It's going to be a game changer.
Right?
Like,
that's going to be amazing.
But to answer Laura's question, water. Water is the most important. If you don't have water, then, you're going to have a real rough time.
She says they start building the house in 3 weeks. We are on Broadway. We're starting with a shed to home build.
All I can say is, try to get a well. Even if it's a dug well, even if it's a shallow dug well, get some water. Get a source of water. If you got a creek there, run a line from the creek.
Yeah.
Something like that. Make sure you got water. you can't survive without water, right?
Yep. Yep.
So that would
We're
be the
lucky
number
on
one thing.
ours. We have the big creek down at the bottom of our property. We have the spring creek that we get for irrigation, and then we have a dug, or not a dug well. I'm sorry, it's a drilled well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting one too. A shed to home build. That's its own unique style of build too, Laura.
A shed to home build, yeah. Our friends at Country Road Cure, Anthony and Roxanne. I'm sure lots of people in here are after seeing Country Road Cure, and if not, go check them out. They're after building a shed to home. They're actually building 2 of them, so
Awesome
go check them
info.
out. But yeah, it's a huge thing right now. Shed to homes and cabin builds and off grid is huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a good time. It's a good time to be a creator. That's for sure.
So go check them out, Laura. She says we are on raw land. We are building a shed to home. We're going to do off grid. Is there anything you recommend? So yeah, I think you pretty much answered that then.
Yeah, I mean, Laura, you can feel free to add us on Instagram, and if you have any questions, we'll be happy to help in any way we can.
That's super nice of you. I'm sure she appreciates that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so comforting knowing people who have done something before you, right? To be able to
well, that's it. It's always nice to have
knowledge.
someone's opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we're always happy to help anyone that we possibly can. And we don't expect nothing in return.
Jesse's being cheeky. He says, sounds like the Oilers need a game changer. And then says, Lisa's idea of off-grid is a hotel with no internet. Oh, dear. Countryside Acres off-grid. I'm so sorry. I don't know your guys' names. Put your names in there for me. Water for us isn't too... What's that?
Countryside Acres?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't think it's Sean, but I know him. I'm so bad with names too. I'm terrible.
I am too.
I'm so terrible.
I'm so bad. Like I know everyone's channels, but I'm so bad. Anyway, they're gonna let us know. But they say water for us isn't too bad, but for all the animals it makes it tougher. No hydro means no heated water bowls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta have water and you gotta have power and you just gotta come up with solutions.
Aaron and Anissa.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you guys. Don't hold it against me if I ask again, but I'm sure gonna try to remember that.
I know. I meet so many people on YouTube. It's crazy.
I know, and it's hard because I want to be able to know everybody and have that connection, know your name,
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure. Laura says that she has a natural spring on the land, but it's not running right now. So, well, that'll be good to tap into.
It all depends on the ground type too, right? I mean, if you have a ground like where there's a lot of sand, you can actually just do a pipe well, where you hammer down pipe right down into the ground. If your area is sandy, you can do that. Bush Radical is a really good channel, and he's got videos there. Him and Brooke, they do their own wells. They have several off-grid little cabins, and they show they do a great job of showing that style well if you are in a sandy area. But if you're in a rocky area like we are, you might want to consider getting a backhoe in and doing a dug well, even if it's temporary. Even if it's temporary, just so you have a water source. A water source where you can wash dishes and give the animals water or whatever, right? You got to have a water source, but it does have a lot to do with the ground type.
Yeah.
So once you get there and get settled, and then you'll figure out what you're dealing with. But like I say, if you ever have any questions, you could always message us on Instagram. Anyways, we're on Instagram.
Yeah, that's all really good info. She says thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Laura.
Aaron and Anissa say, we are new to both your channels. We find it very hard to keep up with everyone and run the homestead and YouTube and raise kids. Yep.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
No.
Right?
No. But yeah.
Well, I think that we'll wrap it up here. But I really want to say thank you. It's been fun, number one. And number two, it's been super informative. And I just, it was so great to talk to you guys and, you watch all your videos, but just to, kind of hear a little bit more behind the scenes and what your thoughts have been on certain things, and has been really cool. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Aaron. We appreciate it. Like, we really appreciate you having us on here.
It's been fun, yeah.
It's been fun, and there's a lot coming, and by the sounds of it, you got a lot coming too.
I think anyone who has a homestead has a lot coming of some nature or another.
Yeah, there's definitely lots coming. Yeah, we're just getting started. Started. But,
well, if anybody is not friends with John and Sheri, which I'm pretty confident everybody on this chat was, but please go check them out. Off-Grid Living with LSH. You will not be disappointed. There's going to be lots of good stuff, as he just said, coming down. And you guys we want to continue to support you, and are so stoked for all that you have coming up this year.
Right on. Thanks, Aaron. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Daz. He just posted your link. So again, yeah, I'm sure everybody is probably on board with you guys, but definitely check them out if you haven't, if they're new to you. And so thanks, and have a good night, and a big hello and goodbye to everyone in the chat. Obviously, lives are not as fun if nobody is watching.
Right.
So a big thank you for all of you guys for carving out a little bit of your evening for John and Sheri and me tonight.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
all
thanks
right.
for having
Well,
us,
have
Aaron.
a good week,
you
John and Sheri, and everyone in the chat. And I'm sure you guys have some new content dropping soon, and we're going to have some new content dropping this week. So stay tuned.
Absolutely.
Okay. Have a good night, everyone. Take care.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.